Hello, thank you for tuning in. So today I'm going to show you how to crochet this beanie. This is the exact same pattern, just depends on which side you want to display. So let's get started. Okay, so the supplies you're going to need. I'm using an H crochet hook, scissors, yarn needle, and a stitch marker. If you don't have one of these, you can use a bobby pin or a safety pin will do just fine. And then of course you're going to need yarn. This yarn that I'm using is Red Heart Soft number 4, but really any number 4 type yarn will do just fine. So let's get started. We're going to start with the magic ring, and if you're unsure of how to do a magic ring, I do have another tutorial for that. Once you have your magic ring, you're going to chain 3, and that chain 3 is not going to count as a stitch. That is just going to be our floater stitch. Okay, so we are putting 12 double crochets inside this magic ring. Got your 12 double crochets in the magic ring. You just want to tighten the tail here. And then we're going to slip stitch into the top of that chain 3 space. So right up in here. Slip stitch. That's our first row. So now we're going into the second row, chain 3. And that first chain space that we slip stitch into, we're going to skip that. We're going into the next chain space, the next stitch. Yarn over, and we're going into the front post. So you put your crochet hook behind the post, pull through, put a double crochet right into there, and then we're going to do that again. Double crochet right behind that front post. Not sure why my tail snuck up here. Let's get that back down here. Down, tail down. All right, so now we're going to put a double crochet into the next stitch in the back post this time. And then another one, so 2 double crochets in the back post of the next stitch, and then we're moving on to the next 2 double crochet in the front post. And we're going to continue that around. Just continue. The next will go into the back, and then the front, back, front, two double crochets each. So I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end. We're going to slip stitch right into that, the top of that chain 3 that you did in the beginning of the row. And you can kind of tighten your tail. So that's our first row of front and back posts. We're going to go to our third row here, chain 3. And you're going to do 1 double crochet in the first front post. And then 2 in the second front post. So we have 3 there total front post stitch. Moving on to the back, 1 double crochet in the first back post stitch, and then 2 in the second. Moving on to the next front post stitch. Putting 2 into the second. And then the back posts, 1 in the front, 2 in the second. And then just repeat that around. I'll meet you there. Okay, I'm at the end. We're slip stitching into the top of that chain 3 space. You should now have a total of 36 double crochets, not counting the joining stitch. So moving on to row 4, chain 3, 1 double crochet in the first front post, 1 double crochet in the next front post, and now in the third we're going to increase by 1, so we're putting 2 in this post. Moving on to the back post, we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the 3 back posts. Moving on to the front post, 1 double crochet in the first one, 1 double crochet into the next one, and then 2 into the third. Moving on to the back row, 1 double crochet in each of the 3. So you are increasing by 1 on the front posts only on the last stitch. I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end. You should have 6 sets of front posts of 4 double crochets in the front posts, and then in the back you have 6 sets of 3. So total 42 stitches. And then we're going to slip stitch right here into the top of our joining chain. I usually take care of the tail at the end. It's up to you if you want to tighten it and tie it up in there a while to just kind of get it out of your way. You may do that. Chain 3. All right, we're going to double crochet in the first front post, double crochet in the next front post, double crochet in the next front post. So we have 3 so far. And then we're going to put 2 in the fourth one here. Making 5 total front posts now. Moving on to the back, we're still keeping our 3 in the back. So 1 double crochet in each of the 3 back posts. Next front post, 1 double crochet in the next, 1 double crochet in the next, and then our fourth we're going to put 2, making 5 front posts total. And then you just repeat that around to the end. I'll meet you there. So I'm at the end again. Row 5 we just did should have 6 sets of 5 front post double crochets, and then 6 sets of 3 back post double crochets. Total of 48 stitches. So now we are joining into that chain 3 space, the top of, getting ready here for row 6, chain 3, 1 double crochet in the first 4 stitches, that's 2, 3, and 4, and then the 5th one we're going to put 2 in, creating 6. So now we have 6 double crochet front posts. Moving on to the back, still only doing 1 single in each of the back post double crochets. One double crochet in the next 4 front posts. And then the last one we're putting 2 in. So you're going to repeat that around, ending with 6 front posts and 3 back posts in each set around. I'll meet you at the end. So at the end, you'll want to slip stitch into the chain 3 space where we started. You're going to have a total of 6 sets of 6 front posts and 6 sets of 3 back posts, totaling 54 stitches. So moving on to row 7, chain 3, and starting our front post, 1 double crochet in each of the first 5 front posts. That's 2. 3. 4. And 5. And then this last one here, we're going to put 2 in. And we have 7 front post double crochets. We're putting 1 double crochet in each of the back 3. And 1 double crochet in each of the next 5 front posts. My yarn got knotted up here. Okay, sorry about that. I have 1 more here. Front post, and then this last one we're going to put 2 in. So now we have 4, 6 still. I need 1 more. 7 front post stitches. Just repeat that around. 3 in the back, 7 in the front, only increasing on the last stitch there. Meet you at the end. Okay, I'm at the end. This is what your pattern should look like at this point. We have 6 sets of 7 front posts and 6 sets of 3 back posts, totaling 60 stitches. I slip stitch into our joining at the top of our joining stitch, and then chain 3, moving on to row 8. You want to double crochet in the next 6 front posts, 1 double crochet in the next 6. And then our 7th, just put 2. And that makes 8 front post double crochets. Then we're going to put 3 in the next back post set. So just 1 of each in the next 3 back posts. And then repeat that around. You're only increasing on the last stitch. I will meet you at the end. So I'm at the end again. You should have 6 sets of 8 front post stitches and 6 sets of 3 back post stitches, totaling 66. We're going to join here into the top of that chain 3 space, slip stitch, and chain 3. Moving on to row 9. yarn over, and we're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the next 7 front post stitches. So I got 7 double crochets in the front post. Now this last one here, we're going to put 2. So we have 9 total front post double crochets. We're going to put 3 in the next back posts, one in each. And then we'll continue that around. 1 double crochet in the next 7 front posts, and then 2 in the last stitch there, and then 1 in each of the back 3, and repeat around. I will meet you there. So we finished row 9. At the end you should have 6 sets of 9 front post double crochets and 6 sets of 3 back post double crochets, totaling 72 stitches. At the end of that row you want to slip stitch into your joiner stitch and then chain 3. Moving on to row 10. This is our last increasing row, so we're going to put a double crochet in each of the next 8 front post double crochets. And once you reach 8, the last one, you're going to put 2. Totaling 10 front post double crochets. And then we do 3, 1 in each of the back 3 back post double crochets, and then repeat that pattern around. I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of row 10. At this point you should have 6 sets of 10 front post stitches, and then 6 sets of 3 back post stitches, totaling 78 altogether. So at the end of row 10, this is where I insert my marker. The next row that we do, we're going to be only doing 1 double crochet in each stitch around. And then we're going to be doing that for quite a few rows. So I like to mark my stitch here that this is row 10. That way I can look back and see how many rows I've done, because it's easy to lose count once you get going. So this is row 10. And I'm going to slip stitch into the top of that. And we're starting row 11. So chain 3, and we're going to double crochet in each stitch around. 1 in each of the front posts and 1 in each of the back posts. So I will meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of row 11. You'll just want to slip stitch into the top of our joining stitch, and then you're going to repeat that row 11 more times. And then you'll have 23 rows at the end of those 11 total. And you can kind of help count from here, 12 from your 10. So this was 1 considered after 10, and then row 23 will be actually 13 13 from there. So I will meet you at the 23rd row, after the 23rd row. So I'm at the end of row 23, and at this point of the hat you'll just want to decide which side you want to display. If you want the smaller ribs on the outside, or if you want the larger rib on the outside. So when we make the brim part here, if you want the ridged part on the outside, which is where it is now, you're going to put a double crochet into each post, front post around, the whole way around the hat. If you want this side to be on the outside, then you're going to put 1 double crochet in each of the back posts around the entire hat. So you go ahead and choose which side you want to do. I'm just going to keep this side. So if you do choose the inside, of course, then you would turn it inside out. I'm just going to use this side and continue putting a double crochet on the inside here, so then the raised brim will be on the outside of the hat. So 1 double crochet in each, depending on what side you want to choose. I will meet you at the end. Okay, so I'm at the end and I slipped stitched here. So for row 25, we're going to chain 3, and I'm going to front post double crochet in this first stitch here. And then the next one, we're going to back post. And the next one, we're going to front post. The next, we're going to back. And so on. You're going to do that the whole way around. That's going to start the ribbed look here. So I will meet you at the end. A whole row is each stitch the opposite. 1 in the front, 1 in the back, 1, and so on. So I'll meet you at the end. So I'm at the end of row 25. The next 3 rows are going to be the exact same stitch pattern as 25. So I will meet you there at the end. It's 3 more rows exactly the same as what you did here in 25. So I'm at the end. If you chose to have the short ribbed side on the outside, then we're going to go ahead and turn this inside out to tie off our ends. But if you chose the rib side, the wide rib side for your outside, go ahead and leave it where it is for now. So I'm going to turn it inside out. And at the end, you just want to pull through like you're going to do a chain, and pull it out long. Cut your yarn and then pull it tight so that keeps it from going anywhere. Now to hide your string, if you have a yarn needle, use that. If you don't, if you have a smaller crochet hook, it's just easier to help maneuver, weave the end through here. If not, your crochet hook that you used is fine too. So how I do this is I just weave around one of these ribs to hide it. But I like to be able to put my hats in the wash, and if you're just weaving it and then cut it off, eventually that comes out. So I like to tie it off. I usually just kind of find a stitch and go through it like that, and then I leave it loose and I go back over and around through the same at least twice, and you just kind of pull it tight. Now this is going to be on the inside of the hat, so nobody's going to see this unless I turn it over, but really you're not going to really notice this. So I pull it tight and then I cut it off, so there's kind of like a knot there, and it doesn't come out as easy then in the wash. I mean, it might eventually, but it doesn't come out as easy. So now we're going to do the same thing with our tail from our magic ring. Just pull it up through here from the inside. Now I pull it really tight, and then I go through the top a couple times to make sure that doesn't open. And then I start, and then I find either a rib in this pattern or in other patterns, just kind of find a stitch to put them through. So I'm going to go through this one a couple times just to kind of make a knot. And then I cut it off, and you can't see it. Take our stitch marker out, and we are done. So this hat fits most ladies' heads. If you want to make it bigger, you would just add an increase row or two. If you want to make it smaller, you would just take one or two increase rows away. You might have to adjust your rows that you have just one double crochet in the front and back posts around, which is like rows 11 through 23 right now in this pattern. You might have to adjust those rows a little bit depending on how long you like it. I like the hat to come over my ears, so that's where this comes for me. But yeah, that concludes the short or wide ribbed beanie. So depending on what side you want to show, you can actually turn this inside out and use either side. Thank you so much for watching. Have a great day.